Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss the solution of the problem parenthesis checker. So let us look at the problem statement. The problem statement says given an expression string x, examine whether the pairs and the order of brackets are correct in expression. For example, the function should return true for expression this and false for expression this. So folks, in this question what we need to do is an expression will be given to us which will be opening and closing brackets. We just have to identify whether the opening and closing brackets are in the correct order. If it is in the correct order, we need to return true. Otherwise, we need to return false. So that's about the problem statement, folks. Now let us discuss the solution of this problem. So the general idea behind solving this problem is push an opening bracket onto the stack. So what do we mean by this is if the bracket is a opening parenthesis or an opening braces or an opening square bracket, we are going to push this onto our stack. And whenever we encounter closing bracket, we need to pop an element from the stack. And by doing this operation on the expression given, the stack should become empty by the end of the expression. And let's say if the stack is empty by the end of the expression, we are going to return true in that case. Otherwise, we are going to return false. So that's the general idea behind solving this problem, folks. Now let us take an example in order to understand this. So let us say this is the expression which is given to us. So what we are going to do is we are going to take a stack. So let's say this is our stack. So the first item which we are encountering is an opening bracket. So we are going to push this opening bracket onto our stack. Again an opening bracket. So we are going to push it onto our stack, and again an opening bracket. So we are going to push this also onto our stack. Now the next bracket is a closing bracket. So this is a closing bracket. So in this case we just have to pop an element from the stack. But before popping an element from the stack, we just have to find out that this particular bracket, so if you see, this is the closing bracket which we have. Corresponding to this closing bracket, the opening bracket should be this. And all we have to check before popping an element from the stack is that the top of the stack is actually this. If the top of his stack is this bracket, then in that case we are going to pop an element from the stack. So in this case, that is the case. So we are going to pop an element from this stack. Now let's move forward. The next closing bracket is a parenthesis. So now let's check for this closing parenthesis, the opening bracket should be an open parenthesis, which is what the value is there on the top of the stack, because of which we are going to pop it. And similarly, the last bracket which we have is a closing braces. So we have a closing braces. Corresponding to this closing braces, we should have an opening braces on the top of the stack, which is the case. So we are going to pop it. And in this way, we have iterated on all the brackets of the expression, and we have performed push or pop operation on the stack. And towards the end of the operation, as we can see, the stack is empty, because of which we are going to return true. Now let us take few more example in order to understand this. So now let us say the expression which is given to us is this. So again, let's take a stack. So the opening brackets will be pushed onto the stack in the order. So the first is an opening braces, then an opening parenthesis, and after that we are encountering a closing parenthesis. Since this is a closing parenthesis and the top of the stack is an opening parenthesis which matches, because of which we are going to pop an element from the stack. So this element will be popped, and in this way we have operated on the expression. But after operating on the expression, the stack is not empty. Since the stack is not empty, we are going to return false. And let's take one last example, and then we will discuss the pseudocode. Let us say the expression which is given to us is something like this. So for this expression, we will have a stack, and the first bracket which we are observing is a closing bracket. But once we observe a closing bracket, we can see that there is nothing onto the stack. So the stack is empty, and we have obtained a closing bracket, which simply means that this is not a valid expression, and we are going to return false. So that's the discussion of solution, folks. Now let us discuss the pseudocode of this problem. So let's say we want to develop a bracket checker, and an expression x is given to us. So for this, we are going to take a stack, and then we are going to iterate on all the opening or closing bracket given in the expression. So for ch in x, and then we are going to check if ch is an opening bracket. So if ch equals to opening parenthesis, or ch equals to a braces, opening braces, or ch equals to a opening index bracket. If these are the case, we are going to push an element onto the stack. So stack dot append and ch. Otherwise, if this is not an opening bracket, then this is a closing bracket. In such case, the first thing which we are going to do is we are going to check if stack is empty. If stack is empty, then that simply means we are in this case where we have encountered an closing bracket, but there is nothing onto the stack. In such case, we just have to return false. Otherwise, we are going to check what is the top of the stack. So let's say stack top, which will be equals to stack minus 1, and for the current bracket we are going to obtain its opening bracket. So str opening, which is equals to, let's say we have a function opening bracket, and to this we are passing ch. So please note, we are iterating on ch, and ch, since we are there in the else block, so ch is a closing bracket. What I am trying to get over here is, for the closing bracket, what is the opening bracket? So for instance, if ch is a closing parenthesis, so let's say ch is a closing parenthesis, then this function which is opening bracket is going to return me its opening parenthesis. Similarly, if ch is a closing braces, then this function is going to return me the opening braces, and the same goes for the index bracket as well. So now once we have these two, which is stack top and str opening, we are going to compare whether they are equal or not. So let me go up in order to explain this. So essentially folks, what I am doing over here is I have encountered a closing bracket. For this closing bracket, the opening bracket should be this, and this is what should be there on the stack top, and this is what we need to compare, and that's what we are doing it in our pseudo code as well. So these two should match. So if stack top is not equals to str opening, then in such case we are going to return false. Otherwise, we are going to pop an element from the stack. So stack dot pop. And in this way, we have operated on all the expression. Towards the end, we just have to check if len of stack equals to 0. If this is equals to 0, then we can return true. Otherwise, we need to return false. So that's the pseudocode, folks. Now let us see how we have implemented this in Python and C++. So first, let us look at the Python implementation. So in the Python implementation, we took a stack. Then we are iterating on all the opening or closing bracket of the expression which is given to us. If this is an opening bracket, then we are putting an element onto the stack. Otherwise, we are checking whether the stack is empty. If a stack is empty, we are returning false. Otherwise, we take top of a stack and the opening bracket for the current closing bracket, and we compare whether these two are equal or not. If they are not equal, then we are going to return false, and then we can pop an element from the stack. And towards the end, we compare whether the len of stack equals to 0, whether that simply means the stack is empty. If a stack is empty, we are going to return true, otherwise false. And folks, in the opening bracket function, it is just that if the closing bracket is a closing parenthesis, then return an opening parenthesis. Similarly, if it is a closing braces, return opening braces. If it is a closing square bracket, then return an opening square bracket. So that's the Python implementation, folks. Now let us submit our solution. So our Python solution got accepted. Now let us look at the C++ solution. So the C++ solution is also the same, folks. We have a stack, and then we are iterating on the expression. If it is an opening bracket, we are pushing it onto the stack. If it is a closing bracket, then we are checking whether the stack is empty. If it is empty, return false. Otherwise, check the top of a stack and the opening bracket for the current closing bracket. If they are not equal, then return false. Otherwise, pop an element from the stack. And towards the end, we just check whether the stack is empty. If a stack is empty, we can return true. Otherwise, false. So that's the C++ implementation, folks. Now let us submit our solution. So our C++ solution also got accepted. That is all from this video, folks. In case if you have any question or comment regarding this video, please feel free to use the comment section and I'll try to address them. Thank you.